Well, the penultimate episode for Dark in between time does what a penultimate episode should. It ties everything together as well, or it makes the attempt anyway. I'm not entirely certain it succeeded, but it's a difficult task to do. But it does set up a lot of the relationships at the beginning. They begin in ways you didn't quite foresee, but I mean, they go all the way back to the 1800s, so they're really messing everything up with that. But we finally do. Oh, gee, sometimes I suspected, hey, maybe Adam really wasn't Jonas, and he was tricking him into thinking that. No, by now it was okay. That's Jonas. How does he get there? I don't know. You don't really get it. You say, well, you do. No, you really don't. And I mean, there's the moment where Jonas, this is a Jonas from yet another alternate, and they say it's only two, and now we discover, oh, there's a third one. Obviously the clue is right off the bat with the Schrodinger's cat paradox and all that sort of thing, which brings us back to H.D. Townhouse, which boy, I hadn't seen him in a while. It turns out he's pretty significant, and always he was the guy who came up and managed to develop the device they needed, and I guess had something to do with the spheres that they're using. I don't know. And then you just have to. Well, it takes 30 years for Adam to figure everything out. You don't get to see that. But we do see a younger version of Adam that Jonas has transformed into. How did he do it? Well, they say that travel through time has taken its toll on him. We saw no evidence of that on him or anyone else that's traveled until we just see Adam in his, deformed glory, and now we see a younger version of him like that. And the only thing we get is a scene of adult Noah, trying to make the dark matter work again to get out of the 1800s and all that. And I have to assume he succeeds at some point. I don't know, but he gets zapped by some lightning in there while he's trying to make that work. So I guess you say, "Oh, look, see, it's going to take it." They don't really delve into it. And this is where I'm beginning to suspect that maybe they had to wrap it up, but would have wanted to do more. But anyway, we get some of the family line being set up by Bartos, and there you go. And then even his wife, that's manipulated by Adam, that his wife was actually Adam's sister, who was transported back in time. And Adam, Jonas, murders his mother. Now that is now come on. I know Hannah was quite the selfish, manipulative, backstabbing bitch. And all of that, but good Lord. He says, oh, well, he's dedicated to his plan and he can't have her running around. So he kills her, takes his sister, and has her sent back into the past. I guess that he's mapping this all out. The idea is that he's the big manipulator and planning everything. It's too much. It's a bit of an impossible task. So there you are. All of that. Also, another killing is Claudia kills herself, her alternate self, and then pretends to be her. You see where that goes in the final episode, I guess. A full disclosure, I've seen the whole series at this point. I decided to go ahead and burn through it in light of recent events and thought, well, might not be watching Netflix for much longer. I don't know. I go back and forth with this. There's different arguments, but that's another story. Anyway, Adam's ultimate plan is to destroy everything, and he has his moment there. Manages, after manipulating poor Martha into everything and then getting her, suddenly captures her and decides he has to destroy her now that she's pregnant with their child. Seems like he could have done something to prevent the conception of the child in the first place. But so last episode we saw, oh, that's why they're the origin, because, or his son was the origin because he and his two other selves set off the event that started this whole thing, created the wormhole and all that. So that's what he's planning to do, and so there, that's the terrible thing he's done. But we've already seen him kill his own mother and all this stuff. But he figures, hey, once everything's set right, it won't matter. So he's has no problem killing people. And of course, he's been burnt literally by time travel. So he's no longer the same lovable Jonas that he used to be. And so there you are. And yet, yeah, we don't really get that story. We don't, obviously he was depressed enough to attempt suicide, but well, it doesn't work because his adult self already exists, even though he's been killed by others. Now, granted, it was a world where he never existed, so you guess you could kill him there. Here he does it because his adult self already exists, no matter what he does. And of course, he tried to repeat the exact manner in which his father committed suicide. There's no way out for poor Jonas. So, yes, you could derive from that that's the beginning of his journey to becoming Adam, based on his frustrations with it all and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. And then the mystery of Charlotte, another time-displaced character. We discover, all these different people are time-displaced. It wasn't just Jonas, and so Charlotte herself was. She was kidnapped and then ends up being raised by Townhouse, even though, they weren't related or anything, but that's how that manipulation went. Townhouse, we understand, he had built a time machine. He's the one who built it in the bunker in an attempt to try to save his son and daughter-in-law and their child from dying in a car accident. And that's how the whole thing starts. And so, so there you go, what his messing with. But yeah, there again, in 1986 is when he's supposed to have done this, I believe. So it's like, was he the origin point rather than the son? And so therefore killing Adam and Eva's son, the unknown, wouldn't matter because Townhouse is the one who's started it, right? Yeah, a whole lot of temporal distortions going on in Winden, Germany. It's just terrible. So, so the Adam ultimately, he supposedly has this great moment, all he's been planning for. And Martha is consumed by the dark sphere thing, and then, hey, he's still here. What's going on? This didn't work. And then suddenly Claudia appears. Now this is the old Claudia who is dead. So how is she alive? Well, we'll find out next episode. Well, no, not really. So at this point, the strengths of Dark is, of course, the performances, the cast here, and they surely had quite the knack for finding actors who can portray the younger versions and the old versions, sometimes in between, and it was all very well done. Probably the best has been. Some are not quite, but you get a lot of that, and it fleshes out quite well. Story-wise, at this point, I have to. A lot of people tell me, "Hey, it ties up really great." Like. And in a lot of ways, in an emotional sense, it certainly does. But details and whatnot, not so much. But yeah, well, so as suspected, yes, there's a third world, and not that kind of third world. And one could argue there's plenty more, because when you do this sort of thing again, there's different outcomes and possibilities. Out of even just two decisions. So, someone could revisit it and say, oh, there was another one, but then, yeah, don't do that. So, there you go. This is the episode that's supposed to tie everything as best as they possibly could. I don't think it fully succeeded, but, good enough. And some of it, the business with Townhouse, and, I understand he was a character already established and whatnot, but some of these elements come across as a bit shoehorned in. But other than that, the usual, well done power that Dark has had is still very much there. And so it sets you up pretty much for the end. And a lot of these shows that have so many bells and whistles, and they don't always pay off as well. They can't all be Breaking Bad, which was about as perfect as it gets. But Dark's pretty damn close.
Alright, thank you for watching and listening, Slay. Why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores that have plenty of goodies for you. Hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.